Hello viewers, my name is Cora and welcome to my Sew and Craft channel. For this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make this beautiful reusable cloth fitted face mask. Here are the materials that we will need for this project. Main fabric for your mask, preferably 100% cotton. Lining fabric, cotton would also be best. Flannel interlining, 4.9 ounce per square yard would be ideal. Lightweight fusible interfacing. Face mask patterns, link for the free printable face mask pattern will be in the description below. And for your notions, you will need a coordinating thread, 23-inch long of elastic cord, and a 4-inch long of nose wire. I think I have covered all the materials that we will need for this project, so let's begin. Let's start with tracing face mask patterns on the fabrics and the fusible interfacing. Now you notice that I am tracing the face mask pattern individually on each piece of the main fabric. It's because I am using a printed fabric. I want to be able to choose the print and position the face mask pattern wherever I want it to be. Now for your flannel interlining, there is no need to trace the pattern individually on each piece, although you could, but it will save you some time and you can cut both layers at the same time. Do the same for the face mask lining. For the fusible interfacing, find the rough sides of each piece and put them together. Trace and pin. Now that the tracing is done, let's get cutting. So we are done cutting, and our next step is to adhere or iron this fusible interfacing to the main fabric of our face mask. The fusible interfacing has a smooth and rough side. The rough side is the one that has glue on it. So find the rough side and put it together to the wrong side of the main fabric, making sure they are perfectly aligned. Once aligned, turn them over and press. When you purchase a fusible interfacing, it will come with instructions on how to use it, so just follow the manufacturer's directions. Make sure that the interfacing is properly adhered. If not, just put it under your iron again. Trim excess interfacing. Repeat same process on the second piece. Once the process is done, take both pieces and put them right sides together, then pin. Same with the lining pieces and with the interlining pieces. It's time to sew, starting with the main fabric. Sew along this side with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we will place the stitching a 1/4 inch away from the edge of the fabric. Also, make sure to backstitch at the beginning and at the end to prevent the stitching from coming undone. After sewing, trim seam allowance to eliminate the bulk. Just make sure you are not cutting it too close to the stitches. Trim excess threads Open it up and smoothen the ridge with your thumbs. Same procedure will be applied to our lining cutouts. The only difference would be is the seam allowance, which is 3/8 of an inch rather than 1/4 of an inch. Again, don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. And for the flannel interlining, we will do the same thing as the lining with the same seam allowance. Backstitch at the beginning and backstitch at the end. Now that the layers of our face mask has been put together, we will now proceed to attaching the nose wire onto the interlining. I found this nose wire on Etsy and I love it because it is of high quality. I found it a little wide though for this application, so what I do is cut this in half, lengthwise like this. And now I have two pieces and I can use the other one for another mask. Now we will fold our nose wire at the middle, making sure both sides are even. Now open up your interlining and match the center of the nose wire to the center of the interlining. Leave an allowance of 5/8 of an inch at the middle. Then go ahead and pin it in place. Now at both ends, the allowance or the distance between the top of the interlining and the nose wire should be 3/8 of an inch. Now let's go to the sewing machine. Before attaching the nose wire, adjust the stitch length to the longest setting on your machine. Now go ahead and stitch the nose wire on the interlining, stitching as low as possible. Be careful not to hit the wire itself or you will break a needle. When you reach the middle, lift your presser foot and pivot a little, keeping in mind the distance between the top of the interlining and the nose wire, which is 5/8 of an inch in the middle and 3/8 of an inch at the end of the nose wire. Continue on to the second half. Stitch way past the end of the nose wire to keep it from coming undone. Now that we are done attaching the nose wire, we will then take the wrong side of our face mask lining and put it onto the right side of the interlining, matching the centers at the top and at the bottom. Then go ahead and pin all the way around. Next, baste or stitch both layers all the way around, still using the longest stitch setting on your machine. Sew and remove pins as you go. Again, be careful not to hit the wire with the needle. Slight pivot at the center. and stitch all the way. This is how it would look like after sewing them together. Take the main face mask piece and put it on top of the lining with right sides together, aligning the centers of both pieces. Then pin along the top and the bottom. Once pinned, sew both layers together at the bottom and at the top with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Trim seams to eliminate the bulk about 1/8 inch away from these stitches. Now turn it inside out. Fix it a little and press. Sew in place these loose seams at the ends. Now it's time to make the elastic casing. Fold 1 inch at the opening of the mask and press. To make a clean finish, fold under about 1/4 inch and press again. Pin it in place and do the same at the opposite side. Sew the elastic casings in place. Give it a pass 3 times to make sure it is strong. Backstitch at the end. Do the same at the opposite side. Trim excess threads and iron. Now that we are finished sewing our face mask, all we need to do is thread the elastic using a safety pin through the casings. Start from bottom right opening, up and over to the other side. Adjust the elastic and tie a knot. So this is the around the head style, but you can also do an earlobe style. Simply cut 2 pieces of 9-inch elastic cords and thread each into the elastic casings and tie a knot. This is the end of our face mask tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified with new posts. Feel free to comment or ask any questions. I would like to hear what you think. This has been Cora. I hope to see you in my next video tutorial, and thanks so much for watching.